Hello, everyone. Welcome to English Speaking Way. My name is Sarah. Today, we are not talking about loud love or dramatic feelings. Today's story is about quiet love, about safety, and about how real connection feels inside your body. While listening, you'll learn calm, natural English, how deep thoughts are expressed simply, and how mindset stories can help you feel English, not just understand it. So listen slowly. This story is meant to be felt. Hi, my dear friends. My name is Sarah. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about love, connection, and personal growth. We often expect love to be loud, dramatic, full of excitement, something big enough to prove it is real. But the moments that stay with me the longest are usually very quiet. They don't demand attention. They don't ask to be seen. They just feel steady, honest. Before recording today, I noticed something inside myself. We talk about love as intensity, butterflies, fireworks, a racing heart. But when I hear those words, my body doesn't feel safe. It feels alert. And that's where today's story begins. Because one of the most misunderstood signs of true love is this: true love doesn't make your nervous system work harder, it allows it to rest. We are taught very early to connect love with urgency, with fear of losing, with constant emotion. So when love feels calm, we begin to doubt it. We ask ourselves quietly, is this too boring? Why don't I feel more? Shouldn't love feel stronger than this? But what if calm is not the absence of love? What if calm is the presence of safety? There is a small, very ordinary moment many people recognize. You are sitting next to someone. You're not talking. You're not trying to impress. You're not explaining yourself. You're just there. Your body doesn't brace. Your mind doesn't rehearse. You're not choosing words carefully. You're not waiting for a reaction. Nothing dramatic happens. And yet, something important is happening inside. Your shoulders stay relaxed. Your breath stays steady. That is not indifference. That is regulation. True love often shows itself not through excitement, but through the absence of tension. This can feel unfamiliar, especially if love once meant waiting, guessing, changing yourself to be accepted. In that case, calm can feel suspicious, because calm doesn't activate the old emotional patterns. Here is a gentle truth to remember. Intensity is often chemistry mixed with uncertainty. Safety is chemistry without fear. True love doesn't remove passion. It removes the need to stay on guard, and that changes everything. When love is safe, you don't feel pressure to perform. You don't feel afraid that one mistake will cost you the relationship. Instead, you feel grounded. And grounding is not boring. It is nourishing. There is another quiet moment that shows this clearly. Someone shares a thought. Not a polished one, not something impressive, just something honest. They don't prepare an explanation. They don't protect themselves. And the other person doesn't rush. They don't fix it. They don't minimize it. They stay. That staying is love. Not loud, not dramatic, reliable. And that is why safety is often the first sign of true love. Because love that lasts is not built on emotional highs. It is built on nervous systems that can soften together. And as you listen further, you might start noticing something important about how love feels in your own body. And halfway through a sentence, you suddenly notice something. You're not tense. Your body doesn't pull back. Your chest doesn't tighten. You're not preparing to explain yourself. That absence of preparation matters, because when love is unsafe, your system is always working. You rehearse, you soften, you edit yourself. Not only for the other person, but for your own protection. Over time, that quiet self-editing creates distance. You start to feel like you're performing closeness instead of living inside it. True love feels different. In true love, honesty doesn't feel risky, not because conflict doesn't exist, but because there is no threat of abandonment. You can be quiet without being questioned. You can be tired without being misunderstood. You can change your mind without being punished for it. There's another very simple scene. You're together, doing nothing important, scrolling, folding laundry, just being there. You're not on, and no one asks you to be. That's not indifference. That's permission. Permission to exist without explanation. This matters more than grand declarations, because being fully yourself doesn't happen in big conversations. It happens in small, repeated moments where nothing bad happens when you show up as you are. Over time, your body learns something powerful. I don't have to disappear to stay connected. That learning builds trust, and trust is what allows love to deepen without fear. Here is a gentle truth worth holding. True love doesn't ask you to become better. It allows you to become more honest. And honesty, when met with steadiness, creates closeness that lasts. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to maintain it. You just have to be there. If you've ever felt relief, not excitement, when someone saw the real you and stayed, that's not a small thing. That relief is your body recognizing safety. And safety is not the opposite of passion. It's what allows passion to feel grounding instead of destabilizing. So as you listen, notice this quietly. Where do you feel allowed to be yourself without editing, without shrinking, without preparing? Because true love doesn't make you more impressive, it makes you more you. There's a moment in every relationship that reveals a lot. Not during laughter, not during closeness, but right after something feels off. A misunderstood tone, a comment that landed wrong, a silence that lasts a little longer than expected. In those moments, many people don't ask, "What do I feel?" They ask something quieter and more urgent. Is this still safe? In relationships where love feels uncertain, conflict activates fear. Your body tightens, your thoughts race. Did I ruin something? Should I fix this now? Should I pull back? That fear doesn't come from disagreement. It comes from instability. True love responds differently. Two people disagree. Nothing dramatic, just different needs. The room feels uncomfortable, but not dangerous. No one storms out. No one threatens to leave. No one withdraws affection as punishment. There is space, and that space matters more than agreement. Because in true love, conflict is not a test you can fail. It's part of being human together. This doesn't mean words never hurt. It means the bond is not fragile. You don't have to choose between honesty and connection. You can say, "This hurt me." You can say, "I need time." You can say, "I don't see it the same way." And the relationship stays intact. That staying is powerful, because when conflict doesn't threaten the bond, your nervous system learns something new. I can be honest without losing love. That lesson changes everything. You stop rushing to fix. You stop suppressing yourself to keep peace. You trust that discomfort won't destroy closeness. After tension, there is repair. Not dramatic apologies, not perfect conversations, just presence returning. A message later, a softer tone, a willingness to keep talking. That return builds safety. True love isn't the absence of conflict, it's the absence of fear inside conflict. And that difference is subtle but life-changing. Because when you don't fear rupture, you don't lose yourself trying to prevent it. You stay grounded. You stay honest. You stay connected to yourself. And connection that includes honesty is far stronger than harmony built on silence. So if disagreement doesn't make you panic, if tension doesn't feel like a countdown, if repair feels possible even when things are messy, that's not luck. That's a sign of true love. Love that stays when things get uncomfortable and lets you stay too. They don't rush to agree. They don't rush to correct. They stay curious. And most importantly, you don't feel smaller afterward. You feel steadier. This is the key difference. Control reduces your range. Support increases it. Control makes you quieter, simpler, easier to manage. Support allows you to become more complex, more real. Here is something important that helps prevent confusion. If a relationship feels calm because you are constantly editing yourself, that calm is not love doing its work. It is you doing all the work. True support does not rely on your silence. It does not need you to disappear to keep things stable. Instead, it communicates something quietly. You are allowed to take up space here. You don't have to shrink to stay connected. That kind of support can exist in new love, in long partnerships, and even after deep repair. And it always leaves the same feeling in your body. You feel more yourself, not less. More capable of choice, more willing to speak, more grounded in your own judgment. So after interactions, don't only ask, "Do I feel calm?" Also ask, "Do I feel intact? Do I feel trusted? Do I feel freer to be honest next time?" Because true love does not create calm by limiting you. It creates calm by standing with you, even when you are not easy, even when you are changing. That kind of support does more than feel good. It makes you stronger over time. There is one final sign of true love that is easy to miss because it does not announce itself. True love does not show up once. It shows up again and again and again. Not in dramatic moments, not only in turning points, but in ordinary days. Days that feel normal, days that feel quiet. There is a simple scene. Two people share a routine, a morning, an evening. Nothing romantic is happening, no deep conversation, no big emotion. And yet, a quiet choice is being made. They turn toward each other instead of away. They stay present instead of distracted. They respond instead of disappearing. That choice is not loud, but it is consistent. And consistency is where real love lives. True love is not proven by how strong one moment feels. It is revealed by what you return to, especially when nothing is forcing you to. Many relationships fade not because of conflict, but because of quiet withdrawal. People stop choosing each other when life gets busy, when attention drifts. True love resists that drift gently, not by forcing closeness, but by valuing presence. There is another small moment. You are tired. You could scroll. You could disconnect. But instead, you look up. You listen. You respond. Not because you have to, because you want to stay connected. That want matters, because true love is not obligation, it is preference. You prefer to show up. You prefer to keep the thread unbroken, even when nothing dramatic would happen if you didn't. This is where love becomes a practice, not something you feel perfectly, but something you choose imperfectly. Some days that choice feels easy, other days it feels quiet and effortful. But over time, those choices build something strong, not excitement, not fantasy, trust. Trust that connection won't disappear just because life becomes ordinary. Trust that presence does not need performance. Trust that love does not need constant proof. So if you are wondering whether something is real, look less at intensity and look more at what keeps returning, what stays, what comes back. Because true love does not ask to be chased. It meets you again and again in the middle of real life, and that repeated meeting is what makes love last. Today's story taught us something very important about love and connection. We learned that true love is not loud or dramatic. It feels safe. It feels calm. It allows us to be ourselves without fear. We learned that when love is real, we don't have to edit ourselves, we don't have to shrink, and we don't have to stay silent to keep peace. True love shows itself in small, repeated moments, in staying, in listening, and in choosing each other again and again. What English did you learn today? You also learned calm, real-life English such as, you don't have to shrink to stay connected. True love feels steady, not intense. Support makes you feel more yourself. Love is a choice we make every day. These sentences are useful for deep conversations, mindset talks, and real emotions. If this story helped you understand love, safety, and English in a deeper way, then please support this channel. Your likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions matter more than you think. They help this channel grow and help it get monetized again so I can continue creating stories like this for you. Thank you for being here. See you in the next video.